means you've checklisted the 4-factor rest model.
What should people do if they're not making progress? They're at a plateau. They're the guy that's been using 18s on side laterals for 5 years.
Yes.
What's the troubleshooting checklist for you're not growing, you might be a bitch, or there might be something up with the training?
Yeah, just quit, I would say. That's my best thing.
Throw yourself out a window?
Fuck it. When has training ever paid off? What's the number of times, Chris, that you've physically been laid in the gym? To me, it's 0. And everywhere else, also 0. I don't even know why the fuck we're doing this anymore. Anytime people say, oh, I'm really having struggle in lifting weights, my first answer is just stop. But if they don't accept that, there's a couple other good ideas. The list, technically, of troubleshooting ideas is kind of infinite, but there are a couple of big picture items you really want to think through or talk through if you're struggling with this whole situation. With gaining muscle. One of them sounds very pedantic, but nonetheless is worthy of repetition. How do you know you're not gaining muscle? I had a very interesting interaction once on social media where this gentleman asked me how come he can't gain weight even though he's eating a ton of calories. I looked at his calories, I looked at his body, and I was like, the fuck? And I was like, look, man, my number one suspicion is that you're not actually eating this much food consistently. He's like, dude, I'm telling you I am. And I'm like, okay, fine, I believe you, I rule that out. It ended up being, after I thought about it for a bit and asked him a few more questions, he actually was gaining weight, just not as fast as he wanted. But the rate was like 0.5 pound per week. It was totally fine. So his initial submission of I'm not gaining weight was wrong. Well, some people, when they tell you I'm really not putting on muscle size, well, how do you know that? There's only really one golden fleece way of figuring it out. Has your repetition strength in the exercises for that muscle group been going up over time, or has it been staying really steady? Let's say we're talking about back. How's your one-arm dumbbell row? How's your bent row? How's your cable row? How's your pull-ups? How's your pull-downs? If they're like, yeah, man, over last year, I've really put on fucking just tons of fucking strength onto them. Conversation over, motherfucker.
Where's it coming from?
Of course it's fucking muscle gain at some level. You can't get neural efficiency for that long. But if you are stalled in your exercises, you're stalled in your body weight, yeah, you might not be growing. So one big one off that body weight thing is, are you giving yourself enough nutrients to actually gain muscle? I'll quote myself, what a fucking egotistical move that is.
I do it all the time.
My man. Quoting me or quoting yourself?
Both.
My man. If you weigh 150 pounds, there's no way to maintain or maintain your way to 180. By the laws of physics, you have to gain weight. And the only way to gain weight is either strangely to reduce your physical activity, which most people won't do, or increase the amount of food coming in. So sometimes people will struggle with muscularity, younger folks, oftentimes males in their 20s, 30s, 40s, but yeah, man, I'm just not putting on size. I'd be like, how's your eating? And often you get this like, well, fucking, man.
Any sentence that begins with well.
Yeah, it's already off the cliff. My boss is riding my ass. I have a family.
I asked about your diet.
Right. I didn't give a shit about your boss. You can fucking, while you're getting fired, you can eat a burrito. It doesn't matter.
Mars is in retrograde.
It's a real problematic one. What's funny about astrology is it always says something is in retrograde. It's not astronomy, because one thing I like to ask astrologists is, so which planets are in anterograde? And they're like, what's that? Like, that's the opposite of retrograde, you dumb motherfuckers. Read an actual astronomy book. Just kidding. People watching this who are into astrology, you know what I'm saying? A lot of fine-ass white bitches love that shit. Am I right, Chris? Is that your jam?
Dude, at one of my live shows that I did in Austin, I did some work in progress shows, and this girl came up after we'd finished, and she was very nice, but I asked her what she did for work, and she said that she uses quantum healing in the 5th dimension to inform her crypto investments.
I've been doing it in the 4th dimension this whole time. No wonder my crypto shit is fucked. Damn you, Sam Bankman-Fried. That's intense, man. What did you say? She was. Did you just assume she was?
I asked her to say it
like,
again. I said, "Hey, can you tell me that again?" She did, and I said, "That's the most Austin job I've ever heard of." And she probably danced away on her Bitcoin, Ethereum carpet. I don't know.
Dogecoin.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten Sam Bankman-Fried on the show?
No, he's in jail.
Ah, fuck. Can't you do like a jail episode where you set this whole thing up in prison?
I wanted to do it with the guy that ran Fire Festival, Billy McFarlane.
Chris, listen, I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu and I'm a little jacked. and I'm Russian too, I got the tough guy face. If you have to go to prison to interview him, bro, I'll be one of your security guards, free of charge. I want to meet him.
You just want to be around men.
Him particularly.
He's out of jail now, so...
What the fuck am I doing on a stupid muscle shit on your show? You got a huge platform. Interview people that matter.
Martin Shkreli.
Cancel this episode.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Oh, he's the guy that like did the whole like shorting of
Dexapro,
HIV
whatever
stock
it is.
or whatever.
Yeah.
He could have on the economics of it. It's actually totally valid what he was doing. Believe it or not, get Brian Kaplan on here and he'll explain all that. Oh, no way. Oh, that's right. I watched him on here.
You're amongst illustrious...
Get him on here again, because he's the fucking man.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's ignoring my emails as usual. The Martin Shkreli guy or whatever, first of all, very unfortunate name. Second of all, the way he phrased everything was like, do you have a PR firm that's working against you, telling you to do this stuff? In any case, fuck did we get on this bullshit? Yeah, 5D, fifth dimension, quantum-powered Ethereum Bitcoin,
crypto trading informs my crypto trading.
This is like
she was great. I mean, she's going to be richer than all of us. So,
or hopeless and alone with no quantum powers.
Yeah. Something else I've been thinking about during this conversation, which we haven't spoken about yet: motivation to train. Is that even a thing that's studied scientifically?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the TLDR? Motivation is something that's spoken about an awful lot. It's kind of like the god of the gaps of a lot of psychology, because people want to make doing things that they want to do but may be difficult to do easier, and that is motivation for them.
Yes.
For the most part.
Yes.
What does science have to say about motivation?
Yes. If you care, please remind me to come back with no stupid bullshit jokes about the troubleshooting stuff. We can get back to that.
We get that.
Yes.
Would do the thing.
Yes. So, there are a couple things to say about motivation. One is motivation itself is technically in the construct of adherence is just one of the parts of it. There's inspiration, there's motivation, there's habit, there is interaction between sort of willpower and all that Goggins shit, which is super valid in context. And then there's something called passion, which once you have a passion for something, you no longer ask questions of motivation. Like people ask me like, what motivates you to go to the gym? I'm like, I'm addicted to going to the gym. It's like asking a crackhead, like what's motivating you to do that, light up that rock? What? That's what I want to do, right? So there is a whole rich psychology around just the one part we call motivation. But that richness actually informs a lot of the things that it's a good idea to employ to increase your motivation. We're really trying to increase this adherence, try to make you get to the gym, make sure you get in there. How you get in there doesn't much matter. So one is having good sources of inspiration. If you surround your social media, if your feed has a lot of people who look like you kind of want to look a little bit like them, and they've got a lot of positive and encouraging shit to say and a can-do attitude, that's a good start. Now, it's not going to keep you in the gym, but it might get your ass in there on a fucking rainy day. Another thing is to set goals. Motivation is in many senses defined as the pull towards a goal. You get rid of a goal, you're technically not motivated to do shit. Like animals in a lab are motivated, goal-based, at least neurochemically. You could have Huberman on here, he'll tell it to you better, is like motivation is goal-oriented, even if the goal is equalize this amount of chemical between one brain cell and another. So if you have a goal of like, I want XYZ amount of reps on my lift that's realistic, or even a motivation like I want to be able to tell myself I'm man enough to go to the gym 4 times a week every fucking day this year. That's my goal, a process goal instead of an outcome goal. That's a big deal. If you're goalless, if you're going to the gym for some very general construct like get fit or have abs or something you haven't really quantified in any way at all or really contextualized, it's easy to be like, It's like you have to be able to answer the question in your head of if you're sitting like you got home after work, tough day at the job, you sit down on your couch, you have to give yourself a reason to get up. If your reason is nebulous and like, I think fitness is something I told myself I do, you're not getting up. When push comes to shove, you're fucked up, beer, and you're done. But if you're like, I told myself, contract with myself, I'm going to fucking make it 4 times a week. Awesome. There's another part of this motivation thing that comes in with how easy are you making it on yourself? You don't want to have a big barrier to entry. Training partners help a lot. You sit down on the couch and your training partner fucking texts you and he's like, where are you at, pussy? You're fucking probably going to show up. If it's just you, it's going to be tougher. If your gym is 15 minutes away, you'll fucking do this in California traffic for 15 minutes. If it's 45 minutes away, holy fuck, that makes it really tough. Another thing is doing the kind of stuff at the gym you like. That's where the favorite exercises comes in. If you fucking can't wait to smash some deadlifts, hey, by all means, fuck that optimal shit. Go in there and get you some deadlifts. So there's a lot of stuff coming together. Another thing I will say, this is just my own little bullshit spin on it. This is a much richer conversation we could have in great depth. I want to put this in a way that's both charitable and sufficiently comedic to be expressive. If you have to ask how to get motivated to go to the gym, you don't need to be going to the gym. You don't want it enough. When you're sick and tired of looking and feeling like shit, you'll show up, motherfucker. I'll see you there. Because you're going to look in the mirror and you're going to be like, fuck that. You're going to want to be in the gym. And if you're going to make this a lifestyle, you have to lower the barriers, make the gym cheaper, closer, training partners, exercises you like, and you have to raise the impetus, goals, inspiration, and a fucking goddamn real desire to be there. The people that have no problem showing up to the gym are the people that want to be there. And no amount of Rocky Balboa fucking movies are going to get you to that place. A lot of that is also built with the experience of having the gym be a place where you get results by pushing yourself, winning little mini challenges, and having fun with it. When I think about what does the gym mean to me, I still remember what it meant to me when I was 15 and first walked in. It was a scary place full of scary people that had scary things going on, and I was bad at them. I didn't want to be there. After 25 years of training, the gym is my spirit home anywhere I go. I could be anywhere in the world. One thing I like to do is I come into a gym, let's say I'm traveling, go to Thailand or some shit like that. After enough ladyboys, you got to hit the gym. You're not even strong enough to lift them up. Anyway, so I come into the gym and I've been doing this for a generation. I grab a barbell and I just cinch in like a deadlift grip. It's some kind of fucking spirit connection. I belong in the gym because to me, the clanking and the groaning and the smells and the machines, they are experiential symbols of progress, of love, of passion,
positive
of
feedback mechanism.
Yes, of a good time. So one thing is get yourself into the gym however you see fit consistently. Have a good fucking time there doing what you love. Push yourself. Get those little mini victories, RP hypertrophy apps as you're doing a little better over time, and let that fill you up. Let that grow on you. And then after a while, also, it feels great, especially after the workout. Like after a really solid leg workout, someone could punch you in the face. You'd be like, that was pretty sweet.
Endorphins.
See you next time, buddy. That's it. You don't give a shit.
Yeah.
That stress relief. After you're driving home after the gym, hard day at work, blah, 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 you're like thankful for shit. It's like a post-mushroom trip clarity every single time. And it's good for your health. It's just all these fucking massive green check boxes all around. You get into that habit, and that's the big part of habit. You get in the habit of doing the gym, and it's all this hurricane of positive influences and reinforcement. You're not going anywhere. 3 days after not being in the gym, like, you know, your fucking mother-in-law drags the family to like some fucking cabin in Northern California. It's just us having fun as a family, no gym. After 3 days, you're like, you guys, this is going to turn into some Manson shit. I'm about to get the fuck out of here. You're at the local gym doing this, and then everything is right again. So getting up to that point, don't push yourself so hard that you hate the gym. Remember, it's all voluntary. It's all for fun. It's a leisure activity. I have a PhD in a fucking leisure activity. Someone with a PhD in bowling has equally amount of social value, probably more. So it's all good. Start easy. Get to the gym twice a week, maybe 3 times, 30-minute workouts, 45-minute. Get some progress going. Get into the habit. Make it easy on yourself. Once you're in the habit for long enough, you can start to crank up the intensity and you're going to want to be there. And you never have to ask yourself the question again of what motivates you to go to the gym, because the answer is, it's where I want to be.
What else didn't we cover in troubleshooting? What are the other big ones?
Yeah. Have you been, to our earlier conversation, purposefully progressing in loads or reps? You haven't been pushing yourself? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like one of those guys that you mentioned, like he's doing the 18 kilogram dumbbells all the time. Have you tried the 20s? Have you tried doing more reps? So making sure that person is kind of gun to the head, treating it as a thing. Another one is, where are you on the balance of recovery versus under recovery versus over recovery? If you ask someone like, oh man, my legs haven't fucking grown. Okay, how hard are you training your legs? Like, pretty fucking hard. How long do they get sore for? Like, well, I just don't get sore anymore. I got sore for the first couple months of training. Bullshit. Anyone training legs properly is just going to be sore from when they finish the leg workout or a few hours later until the day before their next leg workout. unless it's a deload week, in perpetuity if you train intelligently.
That's definitely something I think that people get used to, which is this conditioning to training, where you only are sore after the Christmas break.
Yes.
You only are sore after the deload week.
Yes.
And then you're back around and it's like, oh yeah, you know, like weeks 4 through 8, I'm fine. I'm just recovered.
Ask yourself, to the person who is in that position, ask yourself the philosophical question of, is
Are
what
you a
I'm
bit?
doing... I've answered that in the affirmative long ago. I tried the whole mirror thing where I looked in the mirror and I'm like, you're a
World-renowned
bitch. Oh, God.
power bottom.
Still, oh yeah, well, that I earned. Ask yourself a philosophical question. If you're used to some shit and it's no longer experientially challenging for you, are you really so sure you're growing your best? Overload is a principle in training, but it transfers into psychology as well. Your body's pretty fucking good at detecting what's challenging for you. If you're psychologically pushing yourself to the limits quite often, you can rest assured you're probably working hard enough. If you've been used to some shit for months and you're wondering why it's not growing you, why the fuck would it grow you? The body generally likes to resist being changed in many ways because in our evolved ancestral environment, we're very resource constrained. You don't want to piss away tons of resources for hypertrophy. You have to continually challenge yourself. So if someone's like, well, yeah, I'm like, recovery's not a problem, I'm going to be like, try training harder, try training more. If they say, dude, I basically can't recover, I'm going to say pull back. So it's two different answers based on how you're doing it. It's like if you're helping someone with your area, one of your many areas of expertise, which is, I assume, talking to women for the eventuality of getting them to do fun things with you. If a guy's like basically saying nothing and he comes up to you, he's like, what did I wrong? You're like, you got to talk, motherfucker.
Riz.
But if he's right,
No
you got to
riz.
riz it up. But if he sits there like me and he's like, blah, 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 and she's like, oh, you're like, oh, I'm going to cut you off. Let me keep going. You're like, come here. You have to talk less. Same with the recovery thing, pluses and minuses. I already mentioned the nutrition, the food thing. Sleep is huge. I'll put it very, very simply for sleep. I could talk a lot more about sleep and all the technicalities. I'll say it this way. If you are chronically underslept, I actually don't need to hear about your program or your diet. I don't give a shit because it's all just downhill. It's like telling me about how awesome your new fighter plane is, but I'm like, what kind of fuel are you using? You're like, we're supposed to put fuel in it? And I'm like, the fuck out of my face. You have to sleep. It's critical. It's the cornerstone of everything. How do you know you need enough? You're not getting enough sleep? If you can't stay awake throughout your day without like a medical dose of caffeine, you need to sleep more. Could be 9 hours for you consistently. Could be 6. Ronnie Coleman apparently slept 5 or 6 hours a night, more or less his whole life. Looks recovered to me, you know. Huge genetic differences there in sleep requisite, but you have to be getting enough sleep. So enough sleep, enough food, the training has to be sufficiently hard, and you have to recover. And then everything else is details. You could play with rep ranges, frequencies, so on and so forth. That's a troubleshooting list that's available on our YouTube channel. There's like an hour-long bullshit, but those are kind of the big pictures that I want to talk to people about. Yeah.